But that's not important. Hopefully, it will be on yours eventually. My wife is looking for it. The, it's, all the ones that are called the good one are not the right ones. It's the ones. This one is called Please Work Good. You don't see it yet? Well, it says it's working. So let's just hang out here. Let's not panic anyone. Mostly me. So you don't see anyone in the chat?
No, do you?
No, I don't even see it. I don't even see this live stream up. Please work. I fucking knew it. There it is. It's called Please Work Good. I click on that. And I think it's going. Unless it's. But I'm really looking. It's taking a long while. I have water.
I see it.
This
I think you got it.
is it. But I look like I keep going back. Oh, that's because I just went back to type. That's probably why. Boy, that's going to really fuck me up. Did I do it? I think I did it. Now check my hands. My hands, let's see if my hands go up. I'm doing a test. My hands went up. Okay, I did it. For crying out loud. And if anybody has, I'm going to lean in again. I know this will drive people fucking over the cuckoo's nest. But I have to go over to Hate Book and see if I made it in there. Because that was the point of this whole thing in the first place. If I'm not live on Hate Book, what's the fucking point? All right, so there it is. I am checking on Hate Book. Let's see. See if I'm live. Oh, it looks like I was live like 19 times on Hate Book. So I'm getting out of there. I'm getting out of Hate Book. Although that's the newest one. Somebody said, not working right. I know. Get your fucking asses over to YouTube. I've tried to stream the two platforms. All right, fuck me in a bucket of goo. I'm going back to YouTube. Here we go. And this is really why I don't charge for live streaming shows. If you're over on Facebook and you keep posting on there that it doesn't work, that's why I stream on fucking YouTube. I'm working with Streamlabs. I'm still learning shit. I actually didn't want to get off on this note, but I'm streaming from a mobile device. And if I had an actual real computer, a lot of this shit would be much easier. In fact, I can't afford a computer. It's like $1,200 for a MacBook. But I'm actually, some friends of mine talked me into, I'm going to be starting a GoFundMe specifically for that project to help my life along a little bit better here. And so hopefully the pandemic will last long enough for me to get donations, to get $1,200 to get a MacBook so I can stream quite properly. The bizarre thing that I'm seeing now is because I see YouTube on my iPad, and again, I'm way behind. There's me in the iPhone, and there's me on the iPad. Sparky is confident she will not be joining in this train wreck this evening. So here we go. Welcome to episode 35 of streaming live from my living room. It is December 5th, 2020. I think your donations keep the electric on, and you can see I am in desperate need of some equipment upgrading here. I am very excited. Next Friday night, I will be performing at Steel Stacks at Arts Quest. It's a socially distanced, safe thing. They put me in the giant room, and folks are all worked up because when you click on tickets, it looks like they're $50-$60 a pop. You are buying a whole table. That's what you're buying. And if you're as nuts as I am, I would buy a table for 4, 5, or 6 people and just fucking go by myself. And I have no problem if the show sells out and there's just one person sitting each at all these different tables. I'm absolutely fine with that. But if you're waiting for more shows, I wouldn't wait. That's all I have on the books for this year. I don't anticipate doing a day after Christmas show at Sellersville Theater or a New Year's Eve show. So it's this show or this fucking train wreck that you see going on here before you right now. The last time I performed in this area was actually at Arts Quest back in fucking January before all this happy horse shit started. So now, there's a couple things, there's a couple reasons you need to sell the show out for me. A, I really need the fucking money, and that's how I get paid on account of how many people show up. And B, I don't have the emotional maturity to not sell out a show in my backyard when I haven't performed around here for a whole fucking year and it's really hard to see me. So psychologically, if that show doesn't sell out, fuck it, I'm just going to stream from my living room for the whole rest of my fucking life. If I can't sell out a show that I haven't been in this neighborhood for a whole fucking year, fuck me in a bucket of goo. I don't want to fucking, I'll just stay here where it's safe. Donations are appreciated. You get bumper stickers, all this happy horse shit here. I am, as I'm fond of saying, completely unprepared, and I'll tell you for why. I have some friends in New York that are comedians. A friend of mine runs the New York Underground Comedy Festival, and I've been trying to get into that for quite a few years. And I managed to get into the Zoom festival this past year. That tells you how things are fucked up. This pandemic is so fucked up. There's levels of desperation when they say, okay, we're out of choices. Let's do the Amish guy. So I actually got 2 headline Zoom shows. And Zooming on the phone is a big fucking nightmare. Let me tell you what, because there's the panels with all these kind of different people in it. And I didn't really know how to Zoom. So I could only see me when I was Zooming. So that was a fucking nightmare right there. But they booked me to headline last night at 11:30. At 11:30, and I got another one on a Saturday night at 6:30. But there wasn't really a lot of information about this. As it turns out, there are about 15 comedians before me, and they get like 5 or 6 minutes, and I've had to stand pretty much where I'm standing now for like fucking 90 minutes last night. I didn't get on stage until about like 1:30 in the morning. My fucking back hurt, and I got all my notes here, and I'm not complaining about any of the other comedians. It's just apparently I took these shows more seriously than fucking anybody else did. I was worried about my background, and even though how things fucked up here tonight, I'm worried about if I'm center and all this and that happy horse shit. And people that were Zooming were in their pajamas and they were home and they weren't on the camera right. They were kind of like, when it was their turn, they were like over here like this, talking, or on a weird angle, like this. And I'm fucking losing my fucking mind here. And these peckerheads have like MacBooks and shit. And the one guy was like this. And I said, dude, if you tilt the screen of your fucking MacBook towards you, you will rise up into the picture. This is how fucking nuts I was. And I had material prepared. And plus I was headlining. So I got all of 15 minutes, right? And that pissed off the other comedians who didn't know who I was, because they only got like 6 minutes. And then, you know how nuts I get. Of course you do. That's why you love me, because of how fucking crazy I am right now. The preparation for these things is a lot for me, but I love it. I enjoy it. Around 7 o'clock last night, I got an email from the guy running it, who said the 9 o'clock headliner fucking bailed out that I want to do 2 shows. I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. I just answered him, yes, I would love to. Now, I'm in attack mode. So, my wife is in the shower. She comes down. I say, guess what? While you were in the shower, I booked a 9 o'clock headlining show for the New York Underground Zoom Festival. Boom, up the fucking steps I went, and I came down. My wife was making smoothies for me, throat tea. She had fucking makeup team ready. I didn't have to ask her for a fucking thing. Absolutely incredible. Now it's 9 o'clock. You gotta zoom in. There's a special link. And I'm here, and I'm saying why, hello, and all that shit. I didn't know about the 95 other comedians all doing 6 minutes. And that's a long fucking wait. And that was just the 9 o'clock show. Then I had to go through it again at fucking 11:30. So the 9 o'clock one was a lot of fun, but let's face it, at 1:30 in the morning, nobody is fucking funny. Nobody's funny. Nobody's funny. Nobody actually tried to perform or try to create the illusion of performance here. Apparently, I was the only one. So for 90 minutes, especially for the late show, and when you Zoom, you have to be in the panel. It's like the fucking whatever the show was, where they all sat in the squares, celebrity squares. You're just supposed to be there, so I can't just fucking run off. I am supposed to be in my little silly square, and listening to what's going on is for 90 fucking minutes. I had to put up with this, and I'm telling you this. I don't hope whoever watched this thing, I hope whoever was part of this show last night doesn't see what happened, but I had to put up with fucking 90 minutes of this. Comedians, when it was their turn, getting introduced. Not saying they weren't funny, but it seemed like they didn't really give a fuck when it was their turn. All of a sudden, hey, we're going to introduce Helen from Long Island. And then she'd come in like this, like, and she, hi, my parents are of mixed race. One is from Afghanistan and one is Asian. And the other one is British and Russian. And that would be it. Now, what the fuck is going on here, for crying out loud? They prepared for this Zoom show that I got all fucking worked up here and set the curtains up and all this happy horseshit. And they prepared for it like they were just going to do FaceTime with their mother. What the fuck, for crying out loud? So I had to look at shit like this for like 90 fucking minutes before I could fucking perform. And if they saw the show with me last night and happen to be watching tonight, they'll know it's them, because if you look like this, you fucking know you look like this. There's no mistaking looking like this. So let me go back to who I was, who I am. Holy shit. So, and that having been said, it was really a lot of fun. I really had a ball doing it, but for crying out loud. And then the other thing is, Zooming sucks. There's no Zooming and live streaming. I've complained about it before. I love doing it. I feel good. You peckerheads in the chat there, donating and putting up the smiley faces, you make me feel good. It's really difficult. And I think a lot of the comedians, it's not that they weren't funny. They just viewed this as a undoable thing. Like, it's just fucking impossible. And if you're Zooming and if you're live streaming, you really got to go fucking extra out of your way to make something entertaining. You can't just like FaceTime with your mother. So you understand how much of an ass I am. The trolls in my idea hallways, that's how my mind works. There's a bunch of trolls, there's an idea hallway, there's a closet, and they all have a little closet that they sit in on a stool, and they have Sharpies, and they have poster board and signs, and when they hear something that's funny, they write shit on the sign, and they run out, and they wave it, and then I notice it, and then they go, woohoo, he saw my funny idea, back in the fucking closet. But the trolls in my idea hallway don't really have any control over if I said it or thought it, or if it's shit they hear. So the comedians were doing a lot of what I call, not that they weren't funny, don't get me wrong, but the funny ideas, but they weren't really written out because they were Zooming with their wigs on and their sunglasses and shit. There was no point to it. Then the nuts in my idea hallway were running out. I got to apologize to all the trolls in my idea hallway because I put them through this twice last night through 2 different 90 fucking minute sessions. My trolls in my idea hallway are in fucking therapy right now. They're going nuts. They were crashing in the fucking hallway. They're losing their fucking minds. There's just, one of them won't even fucking come out. It's in there, and I'm banging on the door to the troll that's in my own idea hallway head, and he's fucking mad. I'm like, please come out. I'm very sorry. I didn't know that's what was going to happen. And he said, well, I'll come out, but you have to apologize, and I'm going to need a new Sharpie because it didn't dry out. I just fucking ran it out of ink last night, and a lot of new poster boards. So that's why I'm a wreck. Tonight, again, I seem to be the only one that really gave a fuck if that was going to be a fun show or not. So based on that, I think one comedian was actually pissed off at me because I fucking tried. Said, what the fuck was that guy doing trying? Like kind of like when you're playing, flag football, and then I went and fucking tackled somebody. Said, ow, that motherfucker's really playing. Who the fuck invited him? We're just like, so that was my night last night, and then I wound up to fucking 4 o'clock in the morning because that fucking finished at 1:30 for crying out loud. And those of you who know me and this show, Sparky wasn't gonna have fucking nothing to do with that, and I don't blame her. Well, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for tolerating whatever the hell this was. I really hated to lose my people on a hate book who seemed like they didn't want to come over here. And then I do this Streamlabs program that I have boasts streaming to 2 platforms at once. Big mistake for me to try a test. I should have just fucking went with it. But the last time I went with it, I got error messages. But before I sent them a nasty, you fucking cocksuckers dick me on this fucking Streamlabs deluxe package here where you have to pay a monthly service fee. Before I sent them that, which I was gonna, my app did not have updated software. So I updated it and I did the test and I was all proud of myself. And if you go on my Facebook fan page, you'll see like 19 fucking failed lives. And I'm sorry, but there's going to be some dumbasses still over there typing like right now, you're frozen, man. You're frozen. You are frozen. I can't fucking come into your cyber world and get you out of there. You got to just figure it out. Sparky's getting ready to come into the action. When I get worked up, she gets worked up. So here we go. Sparky in the house. There you go. Check it out. Let me try to tell you what's going on here. I don't have an actual show prepared because apparently it's more fun when things fuck up. So I was going over some material that I was going to perform last night. Also, I believe because I talk fast, I crammed more into my 15 minutes than the other 15 comedians crammed into their 6 minutes. And again, I'm not mocking them. I'm just saying this is an impossible task to perform like this. But we have to create the illusion that it's a show. And
somebody said Facebook is still live and working well.
Well, that's fantastic. Hatebook, welcome. Folks are over on Hatebook. The only problem on Hatebook on Facebook, if you're over there, is my lovely wife behind the curtain. I'm not the curtain, the stars. We're performing under the stars. Is in the chat live on YouTube, and so am I. I can go and type. I'll do it right now. Oh, hi. Right there. So there you go. So if you're over on Hatebook, you don't get that. More of the Zoom stories here. So, okay, so when you Zoom, for the early show, I didn't know what I was doing on Zoom. That's a whole fucking other thing to learn, for crying out loud. And I could only see me in the phone. And the guy who was hosting the show had nothing to do with me. I didn't know who he was. He thought I was supposed to get only 6 minutes. And because I couldn't see him, I didn't know this till after my 15. the guy who set this up for me said the MC, I wanted to apologize for him because he was waving his phone at you since 6 minutes. So that dumb motherfucker was waving a phone for me to wrap up my show after 6 minutes for the rest of my 15 minutes that I never saw. And then he did try to make a little bit of a dick out of me. And I said, hey, before you bust my technological ass, I can stream to 2 fucking platforms simultaneously, Facebook and YouTube. And it took me a while, and I fucked myself in a bucket of goo, but Amish drops streaming mic. How about that? Happy horse shit. So there's that. I'm going to be doing a lot of cheating here tonight. So again, my idea hallway works like this. The trolls in my idea hallway. If I hear a comedian do a piece of material that's similar to mine, it gets my attention. Then I know not to perform what I have. And it's usually different, but it's the same theme. So we shouldn't do it. And old me would hear, I have a bit about the missing kid on the milk carton. And a comedian talked about that. And I'm sorry, his wasn't as funny as mine. But old me, when it got to be my turn, I would do a callback to that and just perform mine. And then mine would be funnier. I sound like I'm full of myself. And I am, because I know what I'm doing. But then, that's kind of like fucking cock-blocking, one-upping people. Like, in your face, bitch. You want to know a funny milk carton story? I'll tell you a fucking funny milk carton story. But I also have a little paranoia that, since I may never see him again, he might steal my fucking milk carton thing. So that's a whole thing right there. So he did the thing about the milk carton and the missing kids on there. And actually his piece of material, which I didn't think was that funny, was a little funny, kind of validated my own. So my own is, I'm foggy, I'm doubtful as to this system where you put the missing kid on the milk carton is effective at all. It's because it's basically the least amount of effort you can put into trying to find someone that's missing. The logic being, sitting down at the breakfast table, ready to have some cereal. You got your Fruit Loops there. You grab the milk, and before you pour it, you look and you see the kid on the milk carton, and you look around the room in the kitchen. You go, well, he's not here. Fuck it, I've done enough. And then you pour that on there, and that's it. And then the next bit is, there's a problem with my Amish people with that system because we don't use a milk carton. We get that shit right out of the spigot. Best case scenario, missing Amish person, what they could do is put a sign on a cow and slap it in the ass, and the cow would walk around the town and people would read the sign that says, if you've seen anybody that looks like me or you, tell them to go home. So nice to be back. I took off last weekend for Thanksgiving, and Tuesday my wife and I celebrated an anniversary together. It's none of your fucking business about the rest. That was another thing that I thought was really unusual. Excuse me here. Anybody who was part of the New York Underground Zoom that sees this now, they're going to fucking hate me. They're going to make a voodoo doll and stick it in me. But I'm talking about probably almost 30 comedians through 2 different shows. I don't really hang out with comedians. I have some comedian friends, but we don't hang out. When I perform live, I don't really hang out with a comedian because I'm working. I have my notes and I'm trying to figure shit out. And I really don't even... Hi, Spark. I really don't even listen to their show because I'm working. I'm trying to do notes and get everything as perfect as it can be. What I noticed, not until today, was comedians, at least the 30 that I've watched their shows, hate everything in their life. They hate their boyfriends. They hate their girlfriends. They hate their parents. They hate their children. They just fucking to hate. I was actually, their comedy was making me a little bit sad. They were like, they hate their grandparents, and they're complaining how their grandparents are nasty old miserable fucks. And I'm like, whoa, project much, for crying out loud. They fucking hate it. I felt sad for them. I have a happy life. I'm like, look, I got a fucking cockatiel here. I got an amazing audience. I got a beautiful wife on the other side of my stars in the sky. I don't know why their lives are so fucking miserable. And new me just behaved and shut up, and then I complained about all this shit in the privacy of my home, which I realize I'm streaming live to the world now, so it's a violation of that rule that I usually have. But it's just fucking making me crazy. One guy in particular, I would say he probably was like mid to late 20s, and I'm not gay, but I am able to see if a man is attractive or handsome, and this guy was a pretty damn good looking guy. So by that criteria, I assumed his wife that he was complaining about was relatively attractive too, because attractive people tend to attract other attractive people. And he'd only been married 2 or 3 years, and he was complaining that he was stuck home with his wife during quarantine. And I'm looking at him and his young attractive self and thinking, he probably had a very young attractive wife himself. They should just be fucking for the whole pandemic. That's what he should say. He should say, oh my God, I'm having the greatest time. I'm my beautiful wife. I've only been together for 3 years. She's fucking my brains out. I booked this Zooming show just to get a break from the sex because she's wearing me out. But these motherfuckers, they hate everything. They hate their fucking kids. I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it, for crying out loud. And they don't get me either. So, fuck me. And then I hear other shit. Let's see here.
Everybody says happy anniversary.
Oh, well, thank you for the happy anniversary. I should read the chat, but I feel like I dicked these over without paying attention to you long enough just to get the chat going. Sparky's running around here like a nut. She's fantastic. Let's see. Boom, boom. See, that's kind of life that I have, is that my wife and I had a fantastic anniversary together, just hanging out because we love each other. We enjoy each other's company, and we didn't really have any money to buy anything or whatever. It was just I put music on that I know we like. I made her a mixtape. I made us a mixtape. To be fair about that, and that's what we did. It was fantastic. We had some nice wine, and that's a whole nother story, because the wine has this rubber hat on it. It took like 19 minutes to rip the fucking thing off of that before he could put the corkscrew in, but it was all good, fun stuff. So that's, again, happy anniversary to us. I'm going through my cheater notes here. I got the GoFundMe plug for my MacBook. Still vegetarian. My first vegetarian Thanksgiving. And somebody, again, a comedian was talking about the Beyond Burger, and to my way of thinking, they missed the point. Because, see, the Beyond Burger, to me, is a terrible thing.
The Impossible.
The Impossible, thank you. See, that's why I have a great wife back there. The Beyond Burger is fucking phenomenal. It's the Impossible Burger that's the pain in the ass. The Impossible Burger that Burger King and all these peckerheads have it now, and they brag about it because it looks like a bloody rare burger that someone who was a meat eater, I don't want to see something that looks like a bloody rare steak when I'm not eating meat. And someone who's a hardcore vegetarian, and it's because of the animals and they don't want to eat animals, they don't want to see a fake Impossible Burger that looks like it was just hacked off a fucking cow, and they put the cow's face bone in there, and they simulated the face bone with celery and sucked all the food coloring out of the celery to give it that nice bone look. So the Impossible Burger has no fucking value whatsoever. It's just I don't want that thing to look like a bloody burger. Just like I don't want to look at a cracker with cheese on it and have someone hypnotize me into thinking it's a fucking pizza. I know what it is. That's a fucking cracker with cheese on it. I know that's a fucking Impossible Burger made out of fucking plant. Don't make it look like a fucking pork chop, you motherfuckers, for crying out loud. That was the point of it. And again, that stirred up a lot of shit with the trolls in my idea hallway. That's when they started going fucking nuts and running and banging and fucking driving each other nuts. So there we have that. Impossible Burger. Boom. Roasted. Let's see. Here we go. I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Again, I am trying to focus on what we have and what we can do, because that's why I got off a hate book. There's a lot of what we lost and what we don't have, and we can't do this year, we can't do that this year. Just because you can't do things exactly the same way you did them every fucking year, that doesn't mean those things are fucking gone. That's what people are doing, and it's driving me fucking nuts. That's why I get off a hate book. Like, you know, if you can't get together for the big Christmas party, it's like, oh, I guess Christmas is canceled now forever. Christmas is ruined. There's no Christmas. It doesn't fucking work that way. I saw somebody fucking pissing and moaning on fucking on the Twitter that if you couldn't wish a Merry Christmas if you were wearing a mask. Now, this isn't even a mask. Merry Christmas! You see that? Merry Christmas! You can still say it if somebody's fucking trying to kill you and fucking murder you. Merry Christmas! We can't say Merry Christmas with a mask on. Then you shouldn't be fucking driving if you're that fucking stupid that you can't speak with a fucking mask on, for crying out loud. So, again, one thing that remains consistent with me is that my stories don't really have a point or an end to them. So I'm going through my cheater notes here. Sparky in the house. She didn't broadcast the last time, did she? She was like, fuck you, I'm pissed off. Crying out loud. Oh. I said that and then nothing happened. That's such a dick of me. I'm like, oh. You do that to people in your house? You go, you have something exciting to announce, and then you forget what it is, and they come running, and they're like, I forgot what it was. Okay, so this gets to the heart of my frustrations with not being able to raise enough money to get myself a MacBook, because Bearcat, the feral black cat that lives outside, that is slightly less feral than a squirrel, I did an accidental drunken fundraiser on Facebook around Thanksgiving last year, and I didn't launch it. I didn't think I launched it, to raise like $250 to get it a feral cat house with a heater so it wouldn't die. And unbeknownst to me, when I woke up the next morning, it was fully fucking funded. I had to shut it down. And Bearcat is now trained and goes in that house, right? It goes in that house. Last year I had to train it how to go in, and I crawl, and I have pinchers, and I put a little bowl of treats, and I have to fucking crawl and put those treats in there. And that little fucker went in there last year. It was this year, it's already trained, and it knows that it's its house. But other wild animals don't have respect for whose house that is. Now, the way that this thing is set up, it's dark when I peek in that house, and when the back door, when I open it up, I always hope Bearcat is in the house relaxing. But as soon as it hears the door, I fuck up its relaxing time, and then it comes running out, and then I kind of feel bad. But I know that it's hungry. So when I open the fucking door, it's so much fun, because then I know it's been in there relaxing on a heated thing in the dry for however many hours, and Sparky will go, yeah, you really anxious to see if that fucking cat is in that house. Why don't you open the back door and fuck up its relaxing? Sparky, that's not the point. It might be hungry. So when I open up the door, and then I seen the eyes in there, this is a couple nights ago, and it was nighttime, and it didn't come running out, and there was a fucking opossum in there. A real fucking little opossum. I don't understand why they're cute. It's like a rat ghost, and it had fucking red eyes, and it was in there, and somehow a ghost like rat with red eyes should scare the fuck out of you, but somehow this fucker's cute. And it came out, and then it's, apparently that explains something else, because Bearcat has very good manners, and I put little treat bowls in there and shit. And for like the past week, when I went in there was cat food flying all around the place. Like, Bearcat started drinking whiskey and shit and having a wild party. The bumps are trying to fuck me up. Alexa, stop! There's no way I'm ending my show now. It took me a fucking half hour to get it going. So I'm wondering why Bearcat all of a sudden lost its manners and decided to have drunken whiskey parties and take its dry food and just fucking throw it all around its house. Turns out it was that fucking opossum in there the whole time. So they're kind of sharing the turf a little bit. So, and Bearcat's a little bit tough, and so it reestablishes its domain. So the other night, I went out there, and it's just because I'm awesome and I'm nocturnal. It's got to be 1 o'clock in the morning. It's fucking cold out there. I open that door, and I hope Bearcat's in there, but usually it isn't, because cats are nocturnal. It's running around looking for little mice and shit to kill, but relaxes in the day. So it wasn't in there, and the process by which I feed it is these paper bowls, and I'm very lazy, and if Bearcat's especially hungry, I'll just yank the empty one out and toss it near the little fire pit, and then put the new one in there and get my ass back in the house, because the sooner I go in, the sooner Bearcat can eat. Are you with me on this? So now it gets to the point where Sparky goes, so how many thousands of bowls do you have to stack up out there before you put them in the trash? And then that prompts me to go out there and put them in. It's fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. So I went out and I loaded up the food in the feral cat house. And I decided, because it was trash night, Thursday night this shit happened, this would be a perfect night for me to round up all these fucking paper bowls out here, put them in the garbage, and get them the fuck out of here. So, did you ever have a feeling that somebody was watching you? Well, I already filled up the house, the food bowls, and then I bent down and I picked up one paper bowl, and then I was sure somebody was watching me, and I looked up, and over Bearcat's house there's like grapevines, and like it's almost a tree and it's almost a bush. The fucking opossum was up there like this. The fucker was watching me. If you ever had an opossum see you, that's one thing. But if an opossum is actually watching you, that's a little fucking creepy. At 1 o'clock in the morning with its fucking white rat ghost and its fucking red eyes, it was watching me, the motherfucker. It watched me the whole fucking night, throw them things away. And here's the thing about opossums, see. Sneaky motherfuckers, that's what they are. They're really sneaky. So this opossum, I know where it actually lives. Our yard is really big. It goes all the way back, way the fuck down, and it becomes new property that's not even ours. And there's porches down there, and back porches, and the opossum lives under these porches, because I know the people. The opossum lives under the porch, and it comes down here, and so when it sees me when it's eating, and it decides it wants to go home to under its porch, there's a straight path that it could take, and if it came out of Bearcat's house, let's see if I got the math right here. Come out of Bearcat's house, it would turn left, and it go a straight path back to the porch where it lived. But the opossum try to fuck me up because it knows I can't see it in the night. So the opossum will come out and turn the other way and walk into the dark yard. And somehow this fucking ghost rat-eyed opossum knows it's at a point where I can't see it, and then it will make that turn to go back under the fucking porch. Why is that amazing to me? Because I've streamed every fucking thing there is to stream on TV, and now like studying the habits of opossums creeping on Bearcat's feral food seems pretty entertaining. Hope everybody's doing good. I hope you're all doing good out there. Be nice to each other. Be good to each other. We never thought all this shit would be going on this long. And when the holidays come, we seem to get a little more fucking crazier than normal. The beauty of me with this holiday season is my family knows that I am a stand-up comedian and that I'm broke. Nobody fucking asked me for anything. And nobody's expecting anything. So it's the year where I'm off. So that sounded sadder than I meant it to be. Well, even getting a fucking Christmas tree, right? Even getting a fucking Christmas tree is weird. So, because that's a big thing with us. And the Christmas tree will go right here. And I'm thinking, man, curbside Christmas trees, that would be fucking outstanding. Or delivery Christmas trees. And I Googled around a little bit. And you can have it done for like $9,000 fucking dollars. Fuck that shit. Actually, Clark Griswold from the Christmas Vacation films, he's a fucking genius now because he just went into woods with no people around and chopped down a tree that he just figured nobody owned. And so I think I'm going that route right there. Let me check some more of my silly notes here. Oh, thank you. Donation in there. Eddie Lane. And I missed a few donations coming in. Thank you, folks. I do want to check some more notes here. Back to my Zoom show. I had all this shit planned for the late show. And some of the people were the same. Like the host wasn't the same host, but it was the technician guy. And I think one other comedian. So I actually wanted to mix up my show a little bit for the late show so that people that just sat through me wouldn't go fucking nuts and go, oh, that's the exact same show we did. But by 1:15 in the morning, I couldn't remember any fucking thing that I wanted to do. I absolutely couldn't remember a fucking thing. I went way off the railroad tracks. I wanted to tell them about my feral cat. And I wanted to tell them about the worst winter that we ever had and all this shit. And it was just fucking gone. Truth be told, I don't actually know what I said. And the frightening thing about that is it's all fucking recorded and I don't have access to it. I don't have access to it. I could have announced my retirement from comedy. I could have announced my intentions to run for president in 2024. That's not even fucking solved yet. That's why we're all fucking on edge. We figured that would all be solved. That's not even fucking solved yet. This is a fucking crazy time. And I'll tell you this. I just forgot what I was going to say. So, how about that? I'm getting myself all worked up here. But when you Zoom, it's really a weird thing. That's why I came over to YouTube. It's actually nice to see folks in the chat that I recognize. And I have people that are coming in. When you peckerheads, I mean in a nice way, coming in there every week. Some people say, oh, I'm sorry I missed the thing and I'm going to catch it on the rebound and all this. I love that. With Zooming, it's all gone. It's all fucking done. And I will never Zoom in guests because I can't even Zoom me in. That's a whole nother ball game. They get sound checks and there was a girl and I feel her pain. I really do. But she was a Zoom guest and she had shitty Wi-Fi and she did her whole 6 minutes. This was last night. This was why I went so fucking crazy. So those 6 minutes per comedian was keeping me up later and later. And I'm back here twisting. I'm trying to stay awake and getting the kinks out of my fucking back. And she did 6 minutes. And she didn't know that nobody could hear her. She had bad Wi-Fi. So for 6 minutes we were... And she was frozen like you fuckers see that I'm frozen. And then the Zoom guy go, yeah, we can't hear you. You have bad Wi-Fi. You want to get out of there and change it. And then she went through her whole fucking 6 minutes like that. Nobody could stop her because we're all in different fucking homes. And nobody can stop her. And they didn't know how to pull the fucking plug on her. And at the very end of her thing, she said, it's possible. And then she came in clear as a fucking bell. She goes, it's possible you couldn't hear me that well because I got a brand new microphone. I don't know how to use it. And then they all made a dick out of her and said, no, we couldn't hear you. So, but now we can hear you. So now that it's fixed, let's regroup and then we'll bring you back in. So she got to come back in and do her 6 minutes again at fucking 10 of 1 in the morning, which I don't blame her because I'd fucking want my 6 minutes. But that's why I am as fucking crazy as I am. Well, Sparky had enough. Got a little too worked up for her there. Let's see here. I don't know what else I have to say. How's everybody doing? Is there any questions in the chat here? I tried a week where I was sitting down. Oh, that's another thing that I forgot to talk about. The last time I streamed live from my living room, I said, I'm getting burned out. I don't know what to tell you peckerheads anymore. And I review my show. And so I sat in a chair and I wound up doing a 2 fucking hour show in the chair that I was doing to do a restful show. Because you peckerheads were in the chat going, to keep going. I said, as long as there's people in the chat, I'll keep going. And you fuckers are telling me how many people are in the fucking chat. You're like, hey, there's 28 in the chat, you motherfucker. And then you would suggest me tell stories about shit that happened to me. And that wound up being 2 fucking hours, which I am fine with. I had a lot of fun. But I always review the show I last streamed, and I log it in like a playbook in the NFL, and so that I know what I told you. And there's no fucking way I am going to sit and listen to 2 hours of my own self. No fucking way. Not gonna happen. So with any degree of accuracy, I have no idea what the fuck I told any of you the last time we streamed. This one, I will review, but understand I'm going to have to go and review and delete 9 different failed dual stream things. And I'm sorry because I'm going to laugh because there will be peckerheads in there going, you're frozen. And they'll still be looking tomorrow. This is frozen. When is it fucking going? That's fucking crazier than I am. I don't know what else to tell you, peckerheads. Again, I mean that in a nice way. Let's see what's going on here. Steel Stacks, get the word out. If you are not going to Steel Stacks show, help me spread the word. I really would like to get that sold out. It's a big space and they're keeping us safe, and I'm very excited. Performing in front of people is something I definitely miss, and it's really awkward now because I got used to this. So you'll see some fun there. We got Steel Snacks coming up. Shout out to Keith from the Keith Show, Thursday afternoons. That's me. If his wife is listening in, she likes when I curse. Fuck you and a bucket of you scrapple-sucking motherfucking cock-sucking son of a bitch, bastard, rat, bastard, peckerhead, fucking shit, brain, maneuver. Not her. This is cursing for her, not at her. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. I don't really know. It seems like it's 9 o'clock. Again, I'm out of sync here because
Where's Steel Stacks?
Steel Stacks is at Arts Quest over in Bethlehem by the casino. It's the non-profit. That's what's amazing about it too. It's over by Bethlehem Steel. That's what it is. It's Arts Quest, and Steel Stacks is right in there. Tickets are online. I think you buy a table. So I say the prices look a little, what the fuck, $60. But that's like for a table of like 4 people. So you can get people together that you trust, and buy the ticket, and they'll fucking dick you over and they won't pay their share. But that becomes your problem, not mine. And I think if you're high tech, I think you can do your tickets on the phone, mobile entry, so that you don't have any contact with all that bullshit over there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Steel Stacks, and if you don't know how to find the links and all that shit, if you post it in the chat here, I might not see it, but if you hit my hate book page, or you can email amishcomic@gmail.com, the same place where you send donations, and ask a question there. That'd be great. That's Friday coming, and that's it. That's the only show I have on the books.
Kevin Keller can't come. He's going for heart surgery.
Kevin Keller, he told me about that. He posted Kevin Keller. Boy, that fucking sucks. Batshit balls. You talk about some fucking bad luck. Kevin Keller is an amazing fan. He's been with me every fucking show. They're going in for heart surgery, and this fucker sends me money. I should be fucking sending you money, but I don't fucking have any money. And that's some bad fucking luck. That's the kind of year we've had. An amazing. I love my fucking fans waiting to see me. I believe he's in Allentown. He's fucking Steel Stacks. He could actually fucking go to that, and he can't fucking go to that. I would stream that show live, but I can't. There's a lot of legal problems, and Steel Stacks is non-profit Arts Quest, and so that gets into a gray area. So if I could stream that show to you, I absolutely would. So everybody send hugs out to Kevin Keller. I would say send him donations to help with his surgical bills, but I'm really a dick, and I'd rather you send that money to me. But get well fast, Kevin Keller. It's actually, since we can't really do anything this year, it really would have been a good year to have things done. Like if you needed hips replaced or legs replaced and all that shit, this would have been the year to do it. But now, fucking too late. I'm most definitely babbling here. I'm filling up time. Any questions before I wrap this thing up? Let's see. Kevin, I can't say your last name, had a heart ablation Wednesday. I don't know what that is, so I'm not mocking you, but whatever it was, I'm happy that you could be back in the chat here tonight, so that's pretty badass. Let's see here. Lil Wayne, what is these people's hearts? Lil Wayne, why are you fucking creeping on people's hearts in the chat? What the fuck's wrong with you, man? Who? Lil Wayne, fuck me. Is that supposed to be funny? People are saying I'm having heart surgery, Lil Wayne. What's all this fucking shit with fucking heart problems? Wow, that's fucking cold, bitch. That's cold. I get the joke. But fuck me. That's kicking a man when they're down, when they have heart surgery and shit. You say, what's all this with weak hearts? That's the kind of shit the comedians were doing in the fucking Zoom.
What was your most embarrassing moment, Susan?
What was my most embarrassing moment in show business? That's the good question right there. That would probably have to be that when I first started out my career. That's a good question. That's Clee's sister asking that question. How you doing, Clee's sister? When I first started out, you really take every work opportunity that is given to you. And so, Comedy Den over in Allentown, I was the MC for Ron Palillo, Arnold Horshack, who was starting stand-up comedy, but he really sucked. He was funny on TV, but he sucked as a comedian, and he just thought he could just fucking learn how to do it while he was doing it. So he didn't have enough material to headline, so he actually did not headline. He MC'd, and then they had me on the show as a feature, and then they had another headliner. That's a great weekend for me, because that's when the club launched me to headliner, because I fucking destroyed the fucking room. I was ready to bust, and I fucking crushed the room. And Ron Palillo's manager asked the club, why is the Amish guy not headlining the show? And they went, he's headlining the Late Show. And they did. They let me fucking headline the Late Show, and they lied to the headliner to make him feel good about himself and say, if you want to do the middle slot for the Late Show, because you have a farther drive, that'll be fine. And comedians are happy to just do less time and take their money and fucking go. So I am leading up to the most embarrassing moment, because none of this sounds embarrassing right now. This is fucking rock star shit. So the manager asked me if I wanted to do a show up in the Catskills, and it was going to be for shitty money, $150 to drive to the fucking Catskills. I had a car that I didn't even know if it could make it to the Catskills, but I'm there. Fuck me in a bucket of goo. So I'm like, so what kind of club is this? He goes, it's a private club. And the Catskills, it was one of those old Frank Sinatra Italian mafia rich clubs. And they had, I'm there. And I didn't have a fucking clue about this. But I did ask him, I said, do these people know what they're getting? Do they know it's going to be an Amish comedian? And they, oh yeah, everything will be fine. And when I got there, I walked in and they had my Raymond headshot and they drew an O on the end of it and it said, appearing tonight, Raymundo, the Italian comic. And I literally almost shit my pants right there because while I was processing this, I thought it was a joke. I'm like, that can't be a joke. That's on the sign when you go into the fancy ballroom where all the mafia guys sit and the band plays you on and all that shit. And while I was reading this sign, a man in a suit, probably from The Godfather, came up to me and go, hey, you better be funny. That was embarrassing and also horrifying. And I really didn't really know. At that point, I knew they dicked me over and they were trying to pawn me off as like an Italian guy. I don't know why this look screams Italian. But when the band played me on, which was kind of fucking cool until I had to start speaking. And then they all stared at me like they just pulled into a sobriety checkpoint. And I'm like, you gotta wonder if the guy who booked this kind of fucked up. And that there's a guy named Guido at a barn raising in Lancaster. He goes, hey, how's everybody doing? And that didn't work that well. So, yes, very excellent question. And that's just one of millions of embarrassing moments. I mean, there's more than that. But that's a good question. Any more questions before I wrap this thing up?
No, Wayne said he messed up my comment. I didn't have a heart until I joined on this comment. Sorry about that.
Lil Wayne, I love you. I've seen Lil Wayne's been in there, and he even commented on my recipe thing. But I'm a dick, and when push comes to shove, when one of my fans is pouring their heart out about heart problems, and then somebody says, what's the matter with you with a weak heart? I gotta side with the guy with the weak heart. So I get that. I'm the master, Lil Wayne. I'm the master of saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. And this autocorrect shit. So Lil Wayne, get a get out of jail free card right there. Check his page out. I posted something. Did you see my my video? It's on my YouTube page. If you haven't seen it, it's really fucking dumb. Those Pillsbury biscuits. I love the pop. When you open them, it makes a pop like that. And I just wanted to make a really short video where people could hear that pop. And it took me 2 fucking minutes to get this thing open. I couldn't fucking get it open. I'm fucking banging on this fucking thing, and I couldn't get it to fucking pop. And then I realized that I didn't peel the second thing off. I peeled the first thing off, but I didn't peel the second thing off. So, and then Lil Wayne had posted on that, and he made a cooking video too. So check out I guess that's a cooking video, and Lil Wayne's also. Any more questions in there? Let's see. No.
What's your favorite joke?
What's my favorite what?
Joke that you say at your shows.
I'm a real dick because that's a great question. What's my favorite joke that I say at my shows? I'm a real dick because I actually like a lot of my show. They're not really jokes, they're rants. I really love the worst winter that we ever had, 2 to 30 inches. I love that. I love a bastard child of that piece of material called the worst spring we ever had. I actually really love my bit about roller coasters and Ferris wheels. Those would probably be in like my top 5. And then when I'm doing like a Zoom, I also like talking about how my beautiful wife tricked me into loving fucking cats, which I'm allergic to. So those would definitely be in the top three things that I actually really love to perform. Uh, and also, when I get a full house, I like conducting the F bomb choir. That's badass right there. And I won't be doing that at Steel Stacks because we're really trying to have people not sing and spray shit all around the place. But yeah, I would say those are my top three. Let me peek at my notes here because uh, that's what I tried to bring to the Zoom show. My favorite things. I also like. It's really fucking stupid, but I like a newer bit um, where Baboomsa or Alexa, as I say, that blue light that whips around her head, so you know she's paying attention, would be a valuable thing to install on human beings because I talk to a lot of nitwits and I don't always know if they're paying attention. So I'll be like, Joe, 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 and the blue light will whip around Joe's head, then I know he's paying attention. And I'd be okay if the failed red light will whip around Joe's head. I'd be like, Joe, and the red light would go, say, sorry, Joe's having trouble communicating right now because he was smoking dope on his lunch break. Try back in 20 minutes. So I would say that those would be in my top four right now. Any more questions from the gallery here? McDonald's, how could I mess that up? That's fucking, that's a go-to right there. Mick fucking Donald's. And the fun thing about the McFucking Donald's is this. It's become a fan favorite and I have been doing it forever. And comedians, we're real assholes. And I was doing it I've been doing this like almost 30 years. And the McDonald's, my material kind of evolves and it either gets to be more of a thing or less of a thing depending on how I want to fit it in. And the McDonald's bit, which is now here, started as a thing like this. And another comedian said, you're not going to close with that McDonald's bit again, are you? And that fucking pissed me off, so I wrote it bigger in defiance of that fucking guy. Oh, yeah, not only am I going to do it, but it's real fucking grander now. It's bigger. It's fucking bigger and greater than it ever was. And I did. It got bigger. Almost, I wrote it bigger to be a fucking dick. And that piece of material does a callback in the business. Comedians don't like them. I love them. Where I talk about something at the front of my show. Later on, I do a callback to it. And then this gives the show a little bit of cohesion. Unless you're really fucking drunk and you weren't paying attention. Then you missed the fucking callback. But the McFucking Donald's bit uses a callback to my hatred of mustard on cheeseburgers. So when I get to the end of my show, and if I forgot to do the hatred of mustard on the cheeseburger, that's when I fucking remember, and I rat myself out. I remember the next piece of material has a callback to a piece of material that I should have performed earlier in my show, but I forgot to fucking do it. So now I'm going to be calling back to a thing that I didn't even fucking say. Not even I will know what's going on. But we live in a high-tech world, so I will pause my show and I will wind myself back to the spot in that show where it should have occurred. I will perform the bit, and then I will fast forward the show that is me back to this point in time, and we can move forward from there. And if I have a lot of energy and some running room, I will actually pause my show and wind it backwards. Then perform the thing, and then fast forward back. Fucking McDonald's, pow, boom, roasted. So that's a fan favorite. I was performing at Penn's Peak once, and I was wrapping up my show, and somebody yelled out, McDonald's. And people that never saw my show before must have thought, what a fucking drunken asshole psychopath that is. Like, they were requesting, like, play Aqualung. So it was flattering to me because they were actually requesting a hit single. But had you never seen my show before, imagine the horror of people thinking that's a drunken ass because I'm just talking and I was setting something up and somebody yells out, McDonald's! Dude, if you go to fucking McDonald's after the show, just settle down. It's just a fucking cheeseburger for crying out loud. So now we're having fun. Now I'm getting tricked again into the fucking 4-hour show, and I don't even have my fucking comfy chair here. But to be fair, I stood in this fucking spot for 90 minutes last night at 1 o'clock in the morning waiting to get my fucking 15 minutes. So I'm okay with that. Any more questions here? Let's see. Sheep story. Let's see. The sheep story in the jury is such a terrible joke that I feel compelled to tell it now. It's a fucking terrible joke. I can't believe Keith. I'm going to say your name, Melchior. I don't know. Fuck you for putting that sheep jury fucking joke in there, which I will now do, and it's going to suck batshit balls, but fuck it. And I don't even exactly
Somebody else said they like it.
remember. I'm trying to remember this thing. There was a man on trial being judged by a jury of his peers, and the crime was having sex with sheep. And the prosecuting attorney said, "You disgusting, perverted bastard. Not only did you have sex with that sheep, but you let the sheep turn around and it licked you this way and that way." And a couple of guys in the jury leaned over and said, "That there is a blue ribbon sheep. If they hang him, I'm bidding on the sheep." Fucking terrible joke. My wife's behind the curtain trying not to laugh, but giggling a little bit just because it's such a terrible joke. Fucking sheep in the jury. Well, I know. Here, let's do some of my old bad jokes while we're here dicking around. I can't believe I'm doing this, but fuck it. Once we turn the show off, that's it for another week. And I don't know if I'm going to stream next Saturday or not. I'm going to try to, but here's my dilemma. I'm headlining one of these Zoom shows at 6:30, so I figured I will easily be done at 8. But based on what happened to me last night, I might not be done with that Zoom show until fucking Sunday afternoon. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen Saturday. I'm kind of sort of thinking possibly of streaming live next Saturday night, but starting at 9 o'clock. That's where I'm thinking right now. We're just saying, fuck it, I won't do it at all. But bad jokes that I used to tell. When you're riding around on a horse and buggy and you take it into the city, aren't you worried about vandalism, about burglars? I used to be, but not anymore. I got the club, and that horse won't move 1 inch with that thing stuck up his ass. Such a fucking stupid joke. You peckerheads, this is goading. This is what's called goading. You fuckers are goading me on. Crying out loud. I also did this past week, I did a podcast with Chrissy Mayer. She's got 28,000 followers, and she's a lot of fun, and that's on YouTube. And then, because I'm a dick, we recorded it, and I was going to be in the live chat when she was playing that, but then I got offered to do the performance for the New York Underground Comedy Festival, and she's friends with them, so she's like, it's not a problem. So I did that. That's on YouTube. You can check that out somewhere. But it's funny because when I talk to people that don't really know who I am or are not from the Amish Bermuda Triangle that is Pennsylvania, I take for granted that they know shit that they don't actually know. I said something about the Amish Mafia TV show, and she lost her fucking mind. She said, wait, what is that? What is that, Amish Mafia? What is that real? I'm there, oh, fuck. Then I wound up having to explain to someone who never heard of the Amish Mafia about a show that was fake. that they had nothing to. So now she's going to track down the Amish Mafia, thinking that it's real, even though I told her that it's fake. And then after she sees it, she's going to get back to me, probably, and want to know why I think it's fake. Because you can't really tell something's fake before they know it's fake. So I kind of feel bad because I'm pretty sure her life was much happier never having seen Amish Mafia before. So I make trouble there. Let's see here. All right. Chat is dwindling down to 28 people. No more requests. I don't have a big finale. What the hell was I going to do? I really need a better plan. I do have a lot of holiday stuff that I'll probably save for next time. To show you how fucking crazy I am, tonight's show was going to be Thanksgiving Day themed. And I didn't fucking really talk about that at all. So, then that goes back to me not reviewing my 2-hour sit down in the chair. So, if anybody has any more questions to goad me into babbling more, post it now or forever hold your peace as I prepare to smash the black. Nobody? Oh, there's... Yeah, fucking Keith Melchior again. Motherfuckers. Sometimes the best plans are no... That's a good point. Sometimes the best plans are no plans at all. Boy, that's a fucking t-shirt for me right there. Right there it is. I'm going to wrap this up. I will be launching a Patreon. I will be launching a podcast. I will be launching a GoFundMe to buy a fucking MacBook so I can do some of this shit more fucking properly. I love you. Get the steel stacks if you can. Don't be a dick to each other. We have still rough holidays to get through. Focus on how to make this holiday fucking awesome for yourself and your family, and don't spin in the mud about what you don't have. It's not going to be the fucking same. That's the challenge. Challenge accepted. Don't go, oh, yeah, but so now we got to think up some new shit, right? Like just for tonight, for example, on the street that I live, and it stopped, but for a while, houses on the other side, I'm on the north end of the street, on the south end, houses were burning once a week on this fucking street. It had nothing to do with me, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and tonight the fucking sirens were going, and the fucking engines were going, and I'm thinking, fuck, the fires on the south side of the street have now moved to the north side of the street, and I thought it was just fucking flames out there. And then we ran out, and my wife said, oh no, that's Santa Claus. That's how Santa Claus comes now in the town. They put the fucking fire sirens on, and woo, woo, the fucking end of the world. Ho, 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 ha, 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 the motherfucker. So, and I didn't even really get to see the flames or Santa Claus, but I heard the sirens whipping around. And again, that probably would have been a good spot to end my show. I love yous. I miss yous when I can't stream. It's because I can't fucking stream. I'll try to figure out something for Saturday night. Send me money or don't send me money. Take care of yourselves. We will get through this. Pandemic should be over in a couple of years. All right? I love you. Good night. And I hope there's not like a dozen bad streams here. I'm going to try to shut this off. Boom. I popped that.